Alrighty, so our runners are off. Today's matchup is a little different in turn that PidgeyProwler is actually running this game on Wii U VC. So Wii U VC on average is about 47 seconds faster than normal DS, 3DS, DS, and whatnot. So if PidgeyProwler does not win by more than 47 seconds, then he does not win. So just getting the sync up there. So yeah, I believe PidgeyProwler is going for RNG Manip, whereas mik0 is not. RNG Manip is like so much more easy to do on Wii U. Just need to have a save state for a shell, and it'll work out just fine. Both runners getting the non-trivial triple jump. That triple jump there that they do to skip the stairs is actually a lot more difficult. So PidgeyProwler getting RNG just fine. mik0 might also get the shell. Unfortunately, gets a fire flower there. Nothing he could do about that. So the box has a 50% chance of landing on 1-2, and then it has 3 items in it. It has the shell, the fire flower, 1-up mushroom. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting a shell. So mik0 hit the 1 in 2 chance, but he didn't hit the 1 in 3. So unfortunate for him. PidgeyProwler able to skip fireworks. mik0 having tapped to stop for some reason, but still skipping fireworks himself. He'll have to go into this mushroom house to collect a spare shell. The reason these guys need the shell, not only does it make some of the movement in World 5, early World 8 faster, as well as 8-3, which we'll get onto later, it's required to get the secret exit in this level. So PidgeyProwler actually messing up movement for the task cycle, so he has to go with normal fast cycle, which is pretty simple. All these runners know and can consistently pull this off. Pidgey in the block breaking room, he does this weird movement that I've never liked with his unmorphs there. He unmorphs when breaking the blocks. The reason I don't like that is if you mistime the jump or you jump a bit too far, you won't go back into your shell. mik0 doing some awkward walking, taking things a bit more slow there. Now for the hardest level in World 1 cannon. Some of Pidgey's lead can also come down to a fake lead just because of Wii U VC. He got a 332 there, which is much faster than any gold by, and that's all because of Wii U. So, one cool thing to note, in this game, even though it's a 2D platformer, you never see 2 runners playing the same. Like, for example, yesterday in our race with my little walrus, he was doing some weird triple jumps off question mark blocks. This time Pidgey's taking it a lot more low, and he's trying to jump off enemies more than jump off question mark block. And that's just all down to playstyle and whatnot. There, our first pixel stop of the race, mik0 on the edge of a question mark block. PidgeyProwler looking to grab the spare shell from that question mark block as well. Always comes in handy to have that, especially for 8-3. So let's talk about these guys' PBs. So mik0 was hot, new, fresh meat into the 23 club, getting himself a 2358.8. Whereas PidgeyProwler, currently his PB on SRC is a 2302. However, his actual PB is a 2254, I believe. However, that's like it's invalid because his audio wasn't recording. He's going for hyperspeed, so he gets the trick. Now he has to do a string of frame perfect jumps to keep this speed. Couldn't keep it too long. However, it was enough to get him a good lead. So if you throw the shell on an edge or a slope, and you hop into your shell at the same time or about the same time, you just get a huge boost of momentum. I don't know why. mik0 doesn't have a timer because poop. Potato cam. So mik0 entering 5-3 as Pidgey enters 5 Ghost House. 5 Ghost House, one of these levels, it's movement intensive, can be a place where a lot of runners lose a lot of time without even using it. Pidgey on a pretty decent, like, 5 Ghost House pace. Getting a 375 door is incredibly fast. The fastest door I think ever recorded was a 376, and that requires the question mark block on the left as you jump off it. So that was very fast from Pidgey. Hoping to see mik0 recreate some magic in 5 Ghost House. Getting a double bruiser jump, not deciding to kill the bruiser, taking it slow up the stairs. You know, all these things, pretty decent play from mik0 in the end, getting himself up, not messing up too much. Hit the block, mik0! So, PidgeyProwler is notorious for going for everything. He doesn't... he takes skill over consistency. And when I say that, he goes for hard strats in races like mik0, a lot more like newer to the community. He's not as well known to everyone. I have been watching his streams recently though. He has been going for a lot of consistent things. Things that aren't going to lose him the run, if they do. Both runners on pretty decent pace at the moment out of World 5, both keeping their shell. Pidgey going for some bird jumps off these crows. Saves a bit of time. If you want to get in depth, it saves about a second, all those unmorphs there. Or in-game second, sorry. Oh my god, this RNG for Pidgey has actually been really good for him. That box going to the left save. You can just lose a second. So Pidgey is slowly pulling ahead of mik0. Before we saw that he was entering 5 Ghost House at the same time as mik0 entering 5. Pidgey is now like a full level and a half ahead of mik0. All comes down to loads and just going for those hard strats and nailing them. Like you see on mik0's stream, he's not actually going for the crow jumps, he's just taking it safe, staying in the shell. Like I said, those consistent strats in the end could win him the race. Pidgey could make a fluff up and just end up losing shell early or just dying. Not going for fast skeet. Does decide to jump between them though. Very risky as well. But a 247, nothing to scoff at. Now mik0's turn in 8-2. 8-2's a longer level, so I'm not surprised that he entered as he exited. So 8 tower, probably the hardest level of the run for new people. Pidgey definitely is, yep. So he's going for a strat called cycle skip. Hopefully he'll hit it. We haven't seen anyone hit it in this tournament so far. It's fairly difficult. And yeah, he looks like he'll be getting it. So that setup he does there gets him through that little gap, and now he's a cycle ahead of the old cycle. That one. And it looks like he actually didn't quite get the full of it. Ended up taking a slower route, so he ends up only saving 1 in-game second over previous. And he's going for the fast Bowser kill. Getting a 4-4-8 there. Now it's mik0's turn to do 8 tower. It's still a close competition, if you're wondering. Wow, that RNG for Pidgey. It may not look it, but that RNG is in fact, and he gets the shell. So if he had lost the shell, he would have been safe and had the backup there from the Hammer Bro. So mik0, I know, does not go for cycle skip, more or less because he doesn't know how to do it. So he'll be playing it safe here, just grabbing the Fire Flower and hopping in. Ooh, just squeezing through the gap there. And he should be good. Everything good. So he's actually making a cycle that was 1 in-game slower than what Pidgey had. Basically because Pidgey messed up this loss. So he actually ends up not losing much time to Pidgey. So this level here that Pidgey's in 8-3 is the reason you keep the shell so far into the run. Most runners wouldn't actually keep the shell. Oh, and mik0 going for the fast kill as well. Jeez, didn't know he learned that. The reason we keep the shell is because it drastically speeds up this level. You lose about 7 seconds if you don't have the shell in this level. So, especially on like world record pace, you really want to be a shell here. Both runners have kept their shell, which is really good. Pidgey going for the pipe jump and losing your shell. And this, you may think, oh, he jumped into the thing. He didn't. He did that on purpose. You don't want to really be keeping your shell past this point. Oh, mik0 accidentally trying to be too optimized and hitting himself on the eel. That's going to cost him a lot. Fortunately, there is a backup strat you can do that saves a little bit of time, but not full time. So in these little blowing boys, these pipes that blow out air that push you, if you hold neutral on the controller, you just keep your momentum for so much longer. And it's something we don't actually quite understand. So Pidgey just kind of broke 8-4. Those platforms that move up and down actually cause you to stop. However, if you duck just before you land on them, for some reason it just cancels these things called pixel stop. Hopefully mik0 doesn't get a single stop either. I'm not sure mik0 knows that holding neutral in the pipe actually keeps your momentum for longer. So now into the Trivial Castle. This level looks hard. These jumps are really pretty easy, to be honest. There's not really much here to say about 8 Castle. Pidgey just showing off how good he is at the game, to be honest. mik0 also going for the wall kick. So mik0 actually has the Fire Flower power and a backup Fire Flower. So that's actually really good. And apparently in chat, Pidgey's BPT is a 2301. Wow. mik0's RNG is really supporting him right now because it went left. We don't want to see these things called bridge crossings. That's when the box or the Hammer Bro goes like over the bridge here that's forming on Pidgey's screen. If that ends up happening, you could just end up not having a good day. Oh, another pixel stop on Pidgey's screen. However, that was a good pixel stop because it actually let him just jump into the Fire Flower. So So that was really good on his part. Well, very lucky for him on his part. Currently, mik0's BPT is 22:44. This guy's looking in chat for their race time. Ooh, Pidgey. Just not getting enough distance on that last jump there to hit the red Koopa Trooper, so he had to jump off, and he paused for some reason. Right.
For me, Luigi.
Fortunately, he can get a Fire Flower in 8-6 without losing. There can be some pretty annoying movement up to it. There is a part where Fire Flower helps so much. In the end, that he could have controlled. His finger slipped apparently. So yeah, get over in the Fire Flower from this box here, doesn't lose much time. Failing to jump onto the thing though. Ooh. What is this from Pidgey? What?
Here we go.
Just proving his skill on the main stage, boys. PidgeyProwler, everyone. 8-6. Destroyed it.
Luigi.
So, it seems mik0's entering 8-1 as Pidgey's entering 8-5 as Pidgey's entering 8-7. So mik0 about 2 levels behind. So about probably a minute point. Still a very good race so far, considering. So Pidgey going for fire hops, and he nails them. 2 people have hit and gone and hit fire hops, and somebody has followed PidgeyProwler. This is a new strat to deceive the enemy. A follow on stream. There was actually a really decent 8-7 from Pidgey, a 360 on the clock there. Really hard to do actually. mik0 successfully pulling off 8-5 as well in the background. So let's see how Pidgey's RNG holds and mik0's 8-6 is. RNG is a huge part of this level, and he misses the Fire Flower at the start and decides not to go back to grab it. This could come back to bite him. He had all the time in the world to go back for the Fire Flower. Instead, he decides to just go the star and just decides to go along with it. This is gonna hurt him. Because in the next level, he needs to be a Fire Flower, and he doesn't have a backup either. However, he's had no bridge crossings, which is really good. I don't think either of these runners have had a single bridge crossing this whole run. So that is really something. So mik0 playing it safe, not going for fire hops. Very smart play from him. Like I said, consistency here. Pidgey could easily mess up. He's going for everything pretty much at this point. He was on PB pace, old PB pace. mik0 on the other hand definitely lost PB pace a while back, but just pulling out consistent strats to get himself a good time. If he ends up losing, he's going to be stealing points at this point, and if he ends up winning, then that bonus. It definitely goes to show you the race mentality. Pidgey almost missing one of those coins. If he had missed that top coin there, he would not have been able to get Fire Flower, which would have really damaged his chances of beating Bowser Jr. You're not expected to do 2 quick kills on Bowser Jr. in this run, just 1 with the shell. Fortunately, he was able to get the Fire Flower. He should be alright. mik0 on the other hand, successfully pulling off 8-8. His RNG was very decent. He did have to slow down a bit, so he got a 370. Prowler might accidentally kill himself here by ground pounding off the edge of the screen. That's a kill plane down there now. It's not the rest of the level. PidgeyProwler showing us that he has been practicing 100% as well. Getting consistent at movement in a game can really help as well. Longer categories, getting good at the movement options that exist within the universe of Maro.
Yay for me, Luigi.
So Miko now starting his Death Warp, playing it fairly safe. Can't blame him. Death Warp is one of those things that can actually you can just completely miss the checkpoint and then just kill yourself and be like, yeah, I got it, and then start from the start of the level, and you lose like. And nobody wants to lose 2 minutes because of something dumb like Miko having a little trouble getting the R5. Unfortunately, he does end up getting it without any worries. So PidgeyProwler now entering the last level of the run. This has been a really good run for him. This could be the second 23 we've seen in the tournament so far. Oh, go! The nerves are getting to him. He was able to get a 1-up though. That's going to come in no use. So PidgeyProwler is still pulling out all the cards. Going for the damage boost through the thwomp. That's probably the best place to have like a power up for. People in chat talking about capture cards. Pidgey, it's funny. Pidgey missing the switch. It's funny. Most people complain about the fact that they can't get a capture card for their DS, and then for this game, and then they don't realize that this exists. I don't know if Miko grabbed a spare fire flower. Oh no, this could hurt him. Oh, he did. He did. That was very fortunate that he took the fire flower midway through the level there. Fortunately for him. So it looks like PidgeyProwler will close out this race ahead of Miko, even with the extra 47 seconds added on because of loads. Miko about to start 8,000 castle. PidgeyProwler is in the boss fight. He gets a decent death stare. So congrats to PidgeyProwler for getting the 2232.68. If somebody can do some math for me, that would be nice. Just to see what that time really was. Like 20, it's a 23 for sure. It's like a low 23, like a 1x. 23 16. 23. It's a 9 at the end plus 2319. So Miko has to get within 2319 to steal any points. Congratulations to Pidgey though. Very, very, very good race time and the best in the tournament so far. Pulling out all the cards, pulling out all the stops as well. Showing us just who the best could be. Miko coming up into Maze Room. This room can really damage your run, and he gets it. That triple jump there through the thwomp can hurt. So Miko now coming up into the dying moments of the run. Let's see what time he ends up getting. Hopefully he doesn't choke jump. He's not known for choking. All right, now coming up to the end of the run for Miko now. So Miko just putting in chat that he got a 24:34, which unfortunately puts him a minute out of PidgeyProwler, unfortunately. But still a very solid time for Miko in the tournament. Definitely want to see more of him. Probably going to get Miko in chat. I know Pidgey can't come in because So we might get an interview with mik0, right? Soon, maybe. I'm not sure. Two great runs. Just waiting on our runners now. mik0 just joined the chat. Sup, mik0?
Hello, Locke. How's it going?
It's going great. That was a really good run to commentate from both of you. Very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race, honestly. Pidgey, props to him for getting a pretty insane time in a race.
You got a 23-1x.
Yeah, that's insane for a race. He'll come close to winning it, honestly.
Yeah, you pulled out a good run though. A 24-34 is definitely nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, I was not
especially considering that PidgeyProwler made one mistake throughout the whole run. You were gonna take the lead easily.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty happy with that time for a race. I wasn't expecting to do that well, assuming that earlier in the week I was getting 28s for no resets. So
yes, I definitely remember that. I definitely remember those. Unfortunately, losing your shell trying to be a bit too fast in 8-3 there.
yeah, I got a bit confident, honestly. But I was using the neutral D-pad in case you didn't notice. So
yeah. I thought so. Dirksu in chat saying that if there's differences between the versions of the consoles, Wii UBC is faster by 47 seconds. That's why PidgeyProwler's time on screen is not actually the real time. That mik0's time is actually the slower time still. Unfortunately, you're out a minute out from PidgeyProwler, so you weren't able to steal any points.
that's okay. Honestly, it was a fun race, so I don't really mind.
Definitely. Any thoughts coming out of that race for the future races?
Not really. Just keeping that consistency, because I feel like that was a pretty good run for me. So I just continue with that, and I should do pretty well.
Definitely. Fortunately, PidgeyProwler couldn't join us for interviews, so we can't ask him questions like, "Are your hands shaking right now?" Because that was fire. No, I'm not. Oh well. Well, I think that wraps it up for today's race. If you want to tune in for the next race, that'll be between Glitchman24 and JDude at 3 p.m. EST on July 6th. Two very, very skilled runners. JDude being one of the 4 people with a recorded 22:58, and Glitchman not being far behind with a 23:05. So these two guys giants in the tournament, going head to head to see which one's better. Make sure to check that match out. I mean, mik0 and I will probably be asleep when the match is happening.
It's at 5 a.m. for us, so.
But yes, definitely a very, very good race to watch. And actually, talking about the 6th of July, we've got a double header. We've actually got Yipley versus Helix Fossil not long after at 10 p.m. that day. Definitely another good race to watch. Both Yipley and Helix Fossil having decent times. Yipley having having the world record at, and Helix Fossil with a 23:32. Definitely going to be another good race to watch. So yeah, I think that is us for today. Very thanks everyone for thank you mik0, thank you Pidgey for the incredible race. Very, very good to watch and showed a lot.
Follow Speed Gaming as well. Subscribe, of course.
Oh, and follow My Little Walrus. He was able to wake up. It's a running gag. But yeah, that's us for today. Thank you.